get wrecked. Get completely wrecked. It's Blast Core with Needle. Take it away.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Niedle as Blast Core runner. I'm Japanese and not good at English, so I have a commentator, Shark.
Hi everyone, I'm Shark, and today I will be commentating Needle's fantastic run of Blast Core, a game for the Nintendo 64 made in 1997. This is the Any Percent NTSC 1.0 US category. There are a ton of awesome skips in this game, and it's personally a childhood favorite of mine, and I can't wait to see go through it. I will be commentating over the run, and looking forward to see some carnage, so ready to count down whenever.
Okay. That's from now. And those. Okay. Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Best of luck, Needle. So as I alluded to, Blast Core is a bit of a... It's kind of unknown, kind of not. It's a game by Rare, and the objective of the game is essentially destroy a lot of buildings. So the story of this game is there is a truck carrying nuclear missiles. Those nuclear missiles have begun to leak, so it auto-walks to the nearest detonation site. The problem is, on the way to the detonation site is a lot of buildings, and the slightest jolt will make the carrier explode. So it is the job of Blast Core to use a bunch of huge and crazy vehicles to destroy the path for the carrier to get through. So right now, he just completed the first level. That was very quick. He's going to do a few tutorial levels to unlock certain vehicles. It kind of shows you how to use it. But again, he also blitzes through these really, really quickly. The side swipe has these two levers that push out the side of the vehicle, and he gets through it in less than 10 seconds. So that's very good there. There's only 3 of these tutorial levels. Next one here is J-Bomb. And J-Bomb is probably one of the cooler mechs in the game. Big mech with jetpacks here that can pummel buildings straight to the ground as he slams right down on this one here. There's certain ways you could slam into these buildings here to get through them like really quickly. So instead of bouncing all the way up the top and slamming at the top, you kind of slam as he gets closer to them and just take them all down in one fell swoop, as he does here. So they are just over 20 seconds as well, so great job there. And now the next one, for those who are familiar with Blast Core, everyone's favorite vehicle, the Backlash. And the Backlash is essentially a dump truck, and you can only destroy buildings by drifting with the back half of your vehicle, otherwise you'll just bounce straight off. So gets a turbo boost by pressing A at the right time, jumps through with the bump on the road, and does a drift to destroy that building in one swipe. There we go, that was really clean. So those are the only tutorial levels we see. We're heading down to Argent Towers. Here's our first promotion. We'll be seeing these a few times throughout the run. Heading to the next real level, Argent Towers. So throughout the game, to complete any percent, you need to find 6 scientists that are hidden in certain levels, and the first one is found in Argent Towers. Now, normally you need to go through a maze to try and find a scientist, but there's this really cool skip you can do where you can drift through, hold Z at the right time, and you can clip right through the gates. Very close. That's okay. It's a very it's a pretty fail-safe strat, 'cause if you just fail it, you can just repeat it, and it's pretty quick. So going for it again, holding Z, trying to get the clip. It's all right. It's really tricky. The drift there is pretty precise, but he's going to slow down for a bit, drift at the right time, hold Z, and there he goes, straight through the gate there. And to save time, doesn't destroy the first building, finds a scientist first. And it'll get really close to the buildings, so it'll be a bit hair-raising, but he'll respawn by driving into the out-of-bounds there, and does a big drift here to destroy that building before the carrier touches it. So it's a really close call, but it's an awesome little skip there. And I think while Needle finishes this level, it'll be a great time for a couple donations.
All right, let us get some donations going. Sachi sends $25 and says SGDQ means it's going to be a great week. Kona Rican sends $15 and says have to donate for a childhood favorite game. Also, Fred is best chameleon. Nothing phases him. You know what? I agree. My favorite chameleon and chameleon twist. Cerber Puppy sends $15 and says, bring on the Castlevania block. Oh, and I want to see a blindfold on the Mexican runner. You hear me? Happy SGDQ to you all. That's right, let's get that incentive met.
Thank you so much. So heading to the next world now. So we found the scientists, destroy all those buildings in Argent Towers really quickly. Now we're playing with the Ram Dozer in Blackbridge Works, which is pretty fun level as well. Needle kind of went into those buildings at a diagonal angle to destroy them more quickly. Exiting out of that one into the next one. This is the Thunder Fist tutorial level. We're doing this to unlock the Thunder Fist level. The Thunder Fist is another huge mech, and you might be wondering, why is it missing an arm? Well, the devs intended to put the second arm onto the Thunder Fist, but they actually ran out of memory at the end of the game. So they had to say, let's just put some wires on it, and hopefully it'll still function the same, just missing an arm. So it's a nice little Easter egg there, and once again, Needle just shreds through the level and completes it in less than 20 seconds. Now heading up to the next easy level, Carrick Point. We see the side swipe and also the Thunder Fist, and this will also introduce a mechanic you'll see it coming soon with the missile view exploit. But just slowly coasting his way over to the Thunder Fist, just past these shipment containers. You can get out of vehicles and go to others. You'll see that a bit later in the run. But what he does is goes through and demolishes these buildings here in the way. What he'll do is he'll actually go to missile view, because the explosions really lag out the time and actually make you go physically slower. So you'll actually be doing a lot of this run, or parts of these levels blind, because doing them blind is faster than actually seeing where you're going, because the explosions take up 1/8 of the cartridge space in Blast Core. So they're very detailed, and as a result, we want to reduce that lag as much as possible. So you'll be seeing that especially through the medium and the difficult levels. And the promotion for Needle, Experienced Ravager. Heading now to the next is the last easy level, Havoc District. The first time you get to see the J-Bomb. We also have the Skyfall. We'll be using to just get to the J-Bomb, and we'll be seeing some more missile view tricks here. Should also break down that the levels come in 3 batches. There's the easy levels. Once you play all those and complete them, you get the medium levels, and once you complete all the medium levels, you get the hard ones. You get the hard ones, and then get all 6 scientists. You get any %, and that was really, really clean as well. Again, as you saw before, J-Bomb in the tutorial, slamming down at just the right time allows you to destroy the building without having to boost all the way to the top. So those are all the easy levels completed. Time to raise your sights, and now on to where things get a little bit more difficult here on the medium levels. So first one I'll be doing is a Skyfall tutorial, which is basically use a boost to destroy buildings, but this tutorial level can be done pretty quickly. Wow, good job, Needle. That was incredibly clean. The platinum time for that's actually 4 seconds, so you gotta be real quick off the get-go. But anyway, down to Shuttle Gully. You now have to use it to destroy all these levels, and he'll be exploiting these trenches and these bumps on the grounds to destroy these buildings really, really quickly. So just, if you end up missing a jump, you can actually just keep using your boost to ram into it until you destroy it. So it's a good backup strategy there. Good using the trench, and I think what he did there is if you press Z while you're in the middle, while you're airborne, you'll kind of just stall out. So you'll stall out, and you can kind of control better where you're going if you miss something. But again, a really, really clean shuttle there from Needle. Getting down to the next level, which is Outland Farm. Is a really cool skip here. Normally, you're supposed to just drive through the trench till you get to the end, but if you turn it just the right time, you can click through the bridge and get airborne. You need to be very, very careful with how you control your dump truck here, the backlash, because it can get really, really tough. By doing it at a certain time, you can just negate the 30 seconds of driving and just go on a huge, I guess, rampage to destroy all these buildings relatively quickly. So that is really fun to be seeing done cleanly, and Needles did a great job at it. Finishing up Outland Farm now, another promotion. Again, these a dime a dozen. Outland Farm's all done. Now we're on to the next level here, which is Ebony Coast. So this is where we get to see the Z trick. So you saw before the category, this is any % US NTSC 1.0. That is because the US version of the game, you see, just sits next to the mosaic there, the Easter Island head, and then presses Z to get out, and he actually gets into the J-Bomb, and normally he's supposed to bring TNT back to blow it up, but as I alluded to before, this version of the game, the 1.0 NTSC US version, allows you to destroy buildings by getting next to them in a vehicle and then holding Z. And this is because the game kind of panics and realizes, wait, you want to get out, we want to let you out, but we don't want to crash your game, so it just destroys anything you get out next to. So We're normally supposed to use the Ramdozer and TNT to complete this level, but by using the Z-Trick, we can go back and unlock the J-Bomb early, and then we can find a scientist, which is just hidden away, and then we can just slam down on these buildings down the end of Ebony Coast. So this is the main... Everyone who speedruns this game has to have a US N64 and a US version of the game, which is kind of hard to find. So either way, it's rigs for a lot of awesome optimizations, and it just allows just crazy things to happen. So again, gets through Ebony Coast really cleanly there.
Not a scratch on it. No trouble at all.
So the next medium level, we have Ironstone Mine. We start off in the side swipe, and we need to destroy them in a certain pattern for the carrier to get through them. It's a bit of a bounce there. It can be really hard to get it through there. It's quite narrow. But there's another scientist in Ironstone Mine as well. So destroys the first part okay. Down the gates, you have to destroy the first 2 blocks of each these sets of buildings. Well, first section. So let the carrier go through. Destroys that and uses the Z-Trick to the not the Z-Trick, the missile rated front lag, and now we are into the Thunder Fist, and he can actually do this all blind. Needle's memorized where the buildings are in Ironstone Mine, is able to just destroy all that all blind, which is really, really awesome. I try and do it myself, but I just end up losing time. So now we need to find a scientist, and we can do this before the carrier reaches the end of the level, because if you do that, it'll kind of know you found a scientist. So you don't need to complete the level and then go back into it, find a scientist, then get back into the truck and complete the level. You can just find a scientist before the carrier reaches the end of the level and auto saves and quits the level. So driving now onto the crane and using the crane to get over to the other side of the bridge. And the little character there is walking over the bridge. So usually this is pretty much a free auto-scroller level, because no matter how slowly you destroy all the buildings, if you leave yourself enough time to get to the scientist before it triggers the end, it takes about the same time, but the more optimization obviously the better, especially with the Z-Trick. Finds a scientist, says, "Hello, I'm here." And the scientist will actually give you a hint as to where the next one is, so first time players doing that thinks, "I found this one, where can I find the next one?" But obviously, us speedrunners know where everyone is, and we can find people ways not exactly intended to, especially with the what you saw on Ebony Coast. But there we are, the carrier touches the end of the level, and that is mission complete. Now we are up to Cromlech Court, another fun level with the Thunder Fist. So Thunder Fist, one thing to note here is, again, we've seen a lot of missile view tricks here, but the Thunder Fist will only destroy a building if its fist is in front of it during the roll. So if you roll at the wrong time here, you'll just bounce off the building, and especially when you're trying to memorize it, doing it with the missile view trick, it can kind of throw you off the game. So Needle there just absolutely nails it. A couple more levels to go here. We have Echo Marches. So this is where more of the puzzle elements of Glasscore kind of come into play, because there are trains you can drive as well, and you can't let the carrier drive over train tracks with no kind of train with a blank platform to let it over. So uses the J-Bomb to destroy a few of those buildings really quickly, then flies over to the train and gets out of the J-Bomb and into a train to bring the train over to the platform, and then uses the red car to drive back to the train, sorry, to drive back to the J-Bomb. So, and it's got a pretty funky horn sound as well. And just while we're getting back to the next part of the level, we have time for probably one quick donation.
All right, well, we do have some quick ones. Corte Voorhees donates $25. Says, "Blast Core, let's go!" There you go.
Thank you. All right, so getting back into the J-Bomb now, we also have a ferry we need to put in place, because if the carrier goes over a river, it will explode, and we don't want that to happen. So just skirting over the river here and getting out of it and into the ferry. Again, the water can cause a bit of lag, so Needles here is using the missile view trick to negate some of the lag. And the final part here is just timing your, I guess, slam downs as a J-Bomb just right. And again, you'll see Needle do most of this blind to avoid all the explosion lag. And there we go, that's path cleared, level completed.
You're just trying to impress me.
All right, next level is Beaten Tracks. And beaten tracks again is more of an intended puzzle one, which you'll see a little bit later. But we have another promotion here. What we got this time? Professional Razor. Good job. Sitting out of that and into beaten tracks. So normally you're supposed to take the train to the end and then fiddle around with a crate of TNT and a ramdozer and a crane to destroy the building. But instead we can actually get out of the train early and use a Z-trip to destroy the building. So just stops it right there saying, sorry, the strip's canceled. Looks over the bridge, and this camera is oriented in this way because if you look any other way, it'll also generate a lot of lag. So looking straight at the user here, or the player, destroys the first building, gets up right next to it and holds Z, and just gets out of the ramdozer to destroy the building. The most powerful vehicle in the game isn't the ramdozer, isn't the J-bomb, it is you. And now we're at the last medium level, another scientist here, and this is Tempest City. So what we see Needle doing here, this vehicle here is called the Ballista, and it basically shoots missiles out of its little cannons there. You need to keep picking up ammo boxes to refill your missiles. You'll destroy a few buildings and then go and find the scientists. So you have to usually destroy this using missiles, but again, C-trick prevails. Goes through here and destroys a bunch of these little blocks here that are a little bit finicky, but Needle is able to do it blind and finds the next scientist. Backs up, does a quick turnaround, and can destroy the rest of the building. So, it's the missile launchers on the side of the Ballista can be a bit finicky, so it's a bit hard to control there, but he gets through it. Next section of the building here. There we go, path cleared. Too easy. So, now we're done the medium levels. Now we're on to the nitty-gritty of the 90% speedrun, the hard levels. And there's a couple here that may ring a bell to people who are familiar with the game. Oyster Harbor being one of them, and Diamond Sands. But we're going to see some incredible tricks here. So first one we go to is Ember Hamlet. This is called the Cyclone Suit, what you're supposed to use. You're supposed to use the missile boxes from the Ballista to destroy the building on the right. You use the Cyclone Suit, but those two missile boxes give you 20 missiles, and we found out that's just enough missiles to be able to destroy these buildings without actually having to use the really hard to control and often unreliable Cyclone Suit. So just able to do a bit of missile conservation and able to get through without using the Cyclone Suit. So great job there. And if you run out of missiles there, you often have to keep ramming the buildings to destroy them, which can waste a bit of time. But Ember Hamlet's done. Now we're on to Angel City, one of the more notoriously difficult levels using the backlash. So we've seen quite a bit of missile view skips here. But Needle's got all these drifts like nailed down really well. And you can also use these little bumps on the pavement here to any airtime basically destroys buildings. And with the backlash, it's often more reliable to use the airtime than it is to drift, because if you drift and bounce off the front of your vehicle, you're just bumped straight off. So try to get as much airtime as possible using those bumps on the road. As you can see, it can be a little finicky there, but you can also touch the edge of a building in a certain way as well to destroy it. So a few backup strats you can do, but Angel City as well has got buildings to the left and right, and it's just really hard to get your drifts, I guess, timed just right. So it's a couple of backups he's doing. Unfortunately, gets caught up a little bit there in those buildings, but either way, it was a great job. Angel City is one of the more notoriously difficult levels, so good work. Another promotion we got this time. Expert Destroyer. Very good rank. All right, heading out into the next hard level, and this is everyone's favorite one who's familiar with the game, Oyster Harbor. So this is probably the most puzzle-based level in the game. Doing it intentionally, you're supposed to move these ferries at certain times to get a TNT block to destroy the last building. The Z trick will obviously allow us to destroy that building without having to go and get the TNT block. So we're using the ramdozer here to destroy the first lot of shipping crates. And then heading up to these, I guess this gangway, blocked by a bunch of another shipping crates, and using the Z trick to just destroy them. So compared to playing it on a non-1.0 version or on also on a replay, this saves a ton of time. Heading up to the next point as well, it's like we're playing a jigsaw puzzle, as we need to put all of these blocks here in these holes in the ground. And this tries to trick you. It tries to tell you, hey, put this diamond one in the first slot you see, but you actually need to go and put it just to the right so you can get two more. So if you put that diamond in the first one that you see, you actually won't be able to complete the level, because there won't be the carrier won't be able to get over all of it. So that can trick you, so just gotta be careful. Needle's now trying to round both of them up at the same time. They are a little bit difficult to control. It's first one in first. Oh, and then pushes the next block to the next one. And the last one, second last one, you got to go destroy a few more buildings to get to the next one. Bit of airtime here to destroy the little building here. Yeah, it's a little trickier to get past the buildings here. So the gas containers especially, they have a bit of an area of effect, so they will weaken other buildings around and explode near. You won't really see that much during this any % run, but Oyster Harbor is the only one that utilizes it. So that one's in there. Now we need to worry about the ferries. But there's also a scientist in Oyster Harbor. So what we'll be doing first is, again, you're supposed to complete the level normally, go back, get some TNT to destroy this 2 shipping containers blocking the way. But if you go near this container here and tap B very, very lightly, you can clip through it. It's very tough. It's very precise. You need to tap the button very lightly, and he clips through. So getting that under pressure, it is pretty specific, can be pretty difficult. And what you can do then is just flip your boat through there and then jam the ram dozer halfway through, get into the ram dozer, and then use the Z trick to destroy the shipping containers. So it allows us to get to the scientist as we're completing the level first try normally. So that's one of the main optimizations in any %, and it's probably one of the craziest tricks I've seen in a speed run. And so gets the scientist. There's only one more left, which is in Glory Crossing, which will be the last level. And then it boats its way back. And just while we're getting to the end of Oyster Harbor, we got time for a couple more quick donations.
Okie dokie. We have an anonymous $10 donation who says, I loved Blast Core when I was younger. Sending this donation from Japan. Best of luck with the run, Needle. And Picky sends $10 and says, had to donate during one of my favorite childhood games, Blast Core.
Time to get moved. Oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Keep going. Oh, the Gaming Swamp Cat sends $10 and says, a game of my childhood, one of the first games I got for the N64. Glad to know there's a speedrunning community for this fantastic game. Good luck to the runner. Donation goes to Runner's Choice.
Thank you so much. And on that note, it is time to get moving. So we have the Z trick there to destroy the last building there in Oyster Harbor. And we get through that pretty cleanly. It was a very good clip there to the shipping containers. Now we have Diamond Sands, and this is another huge skip. So normally, you're supposed to go through each side of this railroad, but there's this thing you can do called rail hop. So you can clip into the corner of this little underpass, and by doing something with the controller, I'm a bit of a noob at this game, so I'm unsure myself, you can actually go on the rails and get a bunch of air, and as you know, airtime lets you instantly destroy things. To get through the level really, really cleanly. So if you don't get enough air, you just kind of got to ram through to destroy the rest, but every little underpass, you get another chance. So nudges into the edge there, gets a bunch of airtime, gets a bunch of height as well, and boom, 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 choo-choo. Just gets through all these buildings here, and there's another safe strat you can do is called, it's kind of called edging, so you need to get to the edge and kind of nudge it at each side. You're able to get through it. It can be easy to get stuck here, so he was just trying to just, unfortunately, yeah, and rail hops are only attempted by the top runners of the game because it is a very tricky skip, and if you miss it and you're in a good pace, you unfortunately have to restart the run. But there are backups, so we can just continue to do it normally. And as you said there, he did do a bit of edging. Fun fact, the community has called this PB&Jing, because the first person who discovered the trick with kind of drifting against the edge of the building there with a controller was eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich as he discovered it. So that's the community name for it. But it's still pretty tricky. It's Diamond Sands is one of the more notoriously difficult levels here. Able to get it though. We always have backup strats. Clears the path pretty cleanly, and Diamond Sands is complete.
You're just trying to impress me.
Now into City and Mile, and this is another level which we actually have to use a cyclone suit. So it's kind of a bit of an acrobatic robot essentially. So what happens here is that when you hit something as you're doing one of those like little flip rolls, it does a huge flip and you can destroy buildings using that airtime. But cyclone suit is one of the more difficult vehicles to use. And if you don't get a cycle just right, unfortunately you'll just bounce right off and have to try again. So that's right though. And the thing is as well, is this level is actually a complete copy of Angel City, but instead of using the backflash, you get to use the cyclone suit, which I actually would not argue is easier, but it's up for debate. Gets through it pretty well though, and path is cleared. We only have a couple more levels left here, and Needle's been doing a great job so far. Yeah, we do have 2 left. This is the second last level, Crystal Rift. So we actually start Crystal Rift in a train, and we have to get to the platform so we can use the Skyfall. Just coasting on here and zooming out to prevent a bit of lag, because some areas, if there's a lot of things in an area, it can just lag the game out a lot, as I mentioned before. Big boost over here to get a bunch of airtime to get down quicker. And it's able to use airtime from, you could jump off ledges and use, I guess, little dig outs in the landscape and bumps to get airtime to destroy things using the Skyfall. So we're going to destroy quite a bit using the Sky. Yeah, I think what Needle's doing is some runners tend to destroy some things with the Skyfall and then come up and clean up things up using the Ramdozer, but Needle's using just the Ramdozer for all of it, and then, sorry, the Skyfall for almost all of it, and then using the Ramdozer to push these blocks, another little puzzle part. And into the last one, and that is path cleared. We are coming up to the last level, and time will probably be in the next couple minutes. It'll be when the screen comes up at the end of the next level and says, all missions completed. I'll cue it in, but we're coming up really close. So we're coming up to the last level, and the last scientist is also here, so we'll see Needle complete the level, then go off, quickly find a scientist, get back into the truck, and that will be time. So Glory Crossing, what we do here is we zoom in, because if you go over the bridge, it normally zoomed out, it'll do a lot of lag. And we'll also let go of A at just the right time here, so we can just coast over the rough terrain. And there are a lot of very specific swings here with the backlash you need to do. Gets the first one cleanly. There's not much surface for you to be able to actually drift, because most of this is pretty rough terrain. Gets the first one there, able to do that very, very cleanly. Awesome. And it's a big sweeping drift here with the backlash. Wow. Just misses that back one there, but is able to go back and do a backup swing. There we go. And then the scientist here is pretty easy to find. You just gotta go back here. And timers came out really soon. As I said, it'll be on the screen where it says all missions completed and scientist rescued. So last scientist there. So we completed the game. We basically cleared all the buildings. The carrier is all free to go to the detonation site. And now the scientists have all been found. So time will be coming up after you press exit here. Time. That was incredible. Great job, Needle. And it just goes to show, when a lot of people played this game when they were younger, it just took so much trial and error to figure out, how do I destroy this without taking too long? How do I figure out this puzzle part? It's such an interesting hybrid of action and puzzle. But trust Rare to make a game like this. It's honestly so incredible, and Needle's just smashed it. So great job, Needle. And if you are interested in running this game, we do have a Discord. Be sure to go to speedrun.com and look up Blast Core. We got a little community there, and it's just a fun game to run. And Needle, do you have any last words? Anything you'd like to say?
What is record time?
Oh, what is the time?
Sorry, I had to unmute
26
myself.
minutes?
The time I see on there is 26
Okay.
minutes, yeah. 26
Wow,
and then
it's almost
0.5.
exact. That's very
Wow.
good. Great job, Needle. And
Okay.
anything else? Have anything else to say?
Thank you for watching. Keep watching. Have fun. GDQ.
Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, thank you so much for that Blast Core run, Needle. That was awesome. There's so many vehicles and robots and such. So many explosions. I do like that in the video game. Speaking of which, we have some donations related to the run. The Crank Machine sends $15. It says, pretty sure I'm going to wake up tomorrow and wonder if Blast Core was a game I dreamed of. Nope, it existed. I've played it. True story. Blue sends $25 and says, if I have to be up at 5 a.m., I might as well be watching SGDQ. My GF Cora got me into watching this, and the runs are always a blast. Keep up the great work, staff. You do amazing work and put on a great show. Why, thank you. And thank you for the donation. Remember, all donations All donations help out. You don't have to make a big one. You can make a small one if you want. For example, for Doctors Without Borders, a $5 donation is enough to purchase an MUAC band. That stands for Mid Upper Arm Circumference Band, and it's a simple yet effective diagnostic tool for assessing malnutrition. So you see, even $5, you're still helping. Everyone's helping. We like helping, don't we? I think we do. All right, Mr. Gunn sends $100 and says, "What up, GDQ? Thanks for all of your hard work for an amazing cause." And we're going to have a brief ad break, but don't go anywhere. We will be right back.